Good morning and welcome to today's reflection. It comes from Matthew 7, verse 6 and verses 12 to 14. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Do not cast your pearls before swine is a portion of the Sermon of the Mount, and to understand its meaning we have to understand its context and placement within the sermon. Jesus had just finished instructing the crowd on judgment and reproof. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way that you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure that you use, it will be measured to you. That's from Matthew 7, verses 1 to 2. And you hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. That's Matthew 7, 5. Then in verse 6, Christ tempers these admonitions and shows us the difference between judgment and discernment. We are not to be hypocritical judges, yet we must be able to discern the swine, lest we cast our pearls before them. Okay, if you look at the picture, I'd ask you to notice the big gate in the middle. It's designed for a wide flow of traffic, and everybody goes through that door because it's prominent and inviting. If this was Morocco or somewhere else in the biblical world, the gate would be even bigger, and whole caravans would be able to go through it: horses, donkeys, camels, wagons, carts, processions, and armies. In fact, if you were part of a caravan or procession, or just one of the crowd on market day, you could go through that door without even really being intentional about it. You would just have to let the flow of traffic sweep you along. It is a wide gate. But notice something else. On either side of the wide gate are two narrower ones, and off to the left, not at all fancy and barely noticeable, there's a door that's just big enough for one person to get through. It's not designed for big, huge caravans. It is a narrow gate. It's not built for the go with the flow traffic. It is built for one person at a time. It's there for security and to let approved personnel in or out. Most people wouldn't even notice it. In ancient castles and fortresses, this sort of narrow passage is a tight squeeze. Again, this isn't supposed to be a wide entry point. Actually, that's what Jesus' words mean. When I think about what Jesus is trying to say, is that by taking the big gate, you're often choosing the easy option. You are following the crowds and not letting your individuality shine through. It's anything for a quiet life. You are putting your life under a bushel. Perhaps you will rarely question anything or seek answers to questions that really matter. In this way you will trundle along, and when, at the end of your time, people look back at your own footsteps, they are faint and are disappearing fast. Soon, no one will recall that you ever existed. On the other hand, take the narrow gate and the narrow path, and your life will be so much tougher, but oh, so much more interesting. Here you will be constantly seeking answers and trying to constantly ask questions. With the help of your fellow travellers, you will continue through time, leaving signposts for those who follow you. When your journey is over, your life will be seen to have had meaning, and your rest will be eternal. I'd like to end this reflection with a prayer and a musical blessing. Guide us, Jesus, as we try to follow the difficult path. Give us the strength to continue, the wisdom to understand, and the humility to continue. Amen. May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May you find that long-awaited golden day today. May your troubles all be small ones, and your fortune 10 times 10. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again.